The following is a fan-based video review under fair use. G.I. Joe Retaliation is owned by MGM, Skydance Productions, Hasbro, Paramount Pictures, and John M. Chu. Please support the official release. Hey guys, what's up? It's BigJackFilms here, and welcome to another review. What could be said about the iconic 80s cartoon simply known as G.I. Joe? Considered to be one of the greatest American cartoons of the 80s, G.I. Joe told the story of an American army of super soldiers battling the notorious Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
Of course!
What made the franchise popular over the years was not only the show itself, but from the enormous toy line. Every kid tried to get their hands on the entire collection of figures. The only folks I know who got them all are the Fine brothers, and they actually made a movie out of it called G.I. Joe The Epic Saga, which gave the Joes some really raunchy and odd crossover adventures. I would highly recommend the film for its ridiculousness and hilarity, especially if you're an avid toy collector. So with the franchise being a massive hit, it was only a matter of time before Hollywood decided to make a live-action feature film. The first film was called G.I. Joe The Rise of Cobra, and boy was it a piece of fucking Cobra crap. It felt like a complete snore fest, which is why I vaguely remember it. Hell, I remember more of being 10 minutes late to the showing, and even walking in I thought it sucked. And it's a shame, since I am somewhat of a fan of director Stephen Sommers, who directed the first two Mummy movies starring Brendan Fraser, and trust me, we'll talk about those soon. Also, you're probably wondering what I think of the animated G.I. Joe movie. Well, I've yet to see it, so that will be for another time. So after the boring mess that was The Rise of Cobra, the studios were still confident with the franchise that a sequel was made 4 years later. But can the sequel outdo its predecessor in both quality, critically, and financially, or will it still suck with shittiness? Well, let's find out as we take a look at G.I.
Sir, we have a security breach.
What? How is that possible? Seal off all the entries!
It's not in the building, sir. It's outside.
Then arm the guards at the platform. I'll be right down. Cobra Commander.
BigJackFilms, how pleasant of you to greet us with such a fine display of security.
What the hell are you doing here? Last time I checked, you fled the White House after a crushing defeat by the Joes.
Oh, come now. You think I came all the way out here to be insulted by a slight delay of victory? I can see that you recovered quickly since the failures of Operation Heston.
So it was you who caused those tremors and had me buried alive. I could see those nuclear reactors below the Earth's surface were in your favor.
You don't know how much I wish the operation had terminated you permanently.
Surprised you didn't have the courage to take the responsibility yourself. It's no coincidence that you came here by the time I started reviewing Retaliation. Someone sent you here. Who?
You'll see.
No!
Uh-oh! An emergency suspension.
Impressive technology, isn't it? Pull the trigger, and everyone dies.
What? did you do?
I simply use a silent hammer to take a hold of your tech within your facility. Every camera, hardware, automatic weapon are on my control now, including the computer to whatever you hold your precious crystal.
How do you know I have it? All the tech was destroyed and classified long ago!
And yet you seem to have an animated problem within your household. That hot tub of yours makes a fine form of transportation to the other worlds.
Alright. I'll play your game. You always have one. What's the catch, Commander?
Here's how we play. You must review Retaliation as scheduled, but there must be no negative response. Afterwards, you will give me the hard drives and passwords to all of my imprisoned colleges. If you fail, your facility dies with you. Do we have an accord?
Against my better judgment, I'll accept your requests.
Surprising. You seem much less reluctant than you were 14 years ago.
Things change.
You have an hour to meet these demands. I'll be waiting in my headquarters.
Well, with that all sorted out, let's grab our guns and take a look at G.I. Joe Retaliation. Following the events of the rise of Cobra, the G.I. Joe team is now led by Duke, played once again by Channing Tatum, who have recently been framed for crimes against the US by Zartan, disguised as the president, played by Jonathan Pryce. Great, the High Sparrow couldn't get much out of King's Landing, and now he's sinking his fangs into the US government. If only there was a physical form of the word cunt who could blow him up with Shrek farts. There we go, now we're talking. As the Joes enjoy some secure time off, they are suddenly attacked by a US airstrike, wiping all traces of the Joes off the map, including the title character! Holy shit, did they kill off the main character in the first 10 minutes of the movie? Well, that wouldn't be the first time Duke got nuked. But it turns out the main hero of the movie is Roadblock, played by... as he and the few surviving Joes must reorganize and solve the mystery of these betraying attacks. But their problems are just beginning, as it turns out Cobra Commander and his imprisoned colleagues have escaped and begin plotting their latest plan to take over the world.
Of course!
Except for Destro.
Destro, you're out of the band.
Man, I haven't seen a breakup this bad since Hanson. Why would I make a reference like that? Nobody remembers Hanson! Realizing they're outmatched and outgunned, the Joes must turn to some GI veterans in order to stop Cobra's deadly attack, redeem their loyalties to the military, and save the world from total destruction. So, how does this sequel hold up compared to the first one? Well, I will say this. It is 100% better and superior to the first one.
What?
Yeah. What? Did you expect me to give it a negative response with a good old fuck you? Well, no. I thought this movie was pretty good. Hell, I'll go as far to say that it was a kick-ass fun ride from beginning to end. It was action-packed, exciting, and a damn good popcorn flick filled with fun effects, stunts, fights, guns, and was by far a much better adaptation of the cartoon than the first movie ever was. A lot of the characters are great, most notably Roadblock. I am really appreciating The Rock as an actor a lot more. His character deals with a lot of emotion and loss, and during a lot of the action scenes, you can see he's gonna show no mercy to his adversaries. I like to think of The Rock as the new Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's getting great action roles left and right, and he does have a lot of professional physical talent, not to mention, much like Arnold, a lot of great one-liners.
In the immortal words of Jay-Z, whatever deity may guide my life, dear Lord, don't let me die tonight.
Yeah, you see, he's got some good one-liners there. Anyway...
Are you ready with that 18-year-old aim?
Yeah, okay, but...
You know, in victory, we should be gentlemen. Not from their backs, they don't. I believe I outrank you. Not in my house.
Can I just continue?
That's on the rise. Like your panties.
Shut up!
Not the first time you seen a girl running out of the room screaming. G.I. Joe's, a fist. Popped a live round into my mouth. With a knuckle. Keeps your teeth from shaking.
Okay, stop, please. This is getting annoying.
Stay the fuck out of my way. You know I like my dessert first. Hello, you son of a bitch.
Come on, now you're just ripping on Batman and Robin.
Goes to John. I want to know how many times he shakes.
Please, well, stay cool. It's a cold town.
As your good friend, you need a catchphrase.
Stop it! For the love of God, just stop! Oh, just get to the next character. Then there's the character of Duke. While only being in the movie for the first 10 minutes, he is a good character. He and Roadblock have good chemistry, and it's kind of bumming when he passes. I was actually hoping he'd be in the movie for a lot more than just the first 10 minutes. But for Channing Tatum, it was a nice good paycheck. Lady J and Bruce Willis are good, but nothing special. Though Bruce Willis does get a few extra badass points for getting good lines, action scenes, and, well, being Bruce Willis. He's awesome in everything.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
However, Snake Eyes is one of the better characters. I liked how they continued the storyline with him and Storm Shadow from the first movie. By the way, Storm Shadow was great too, and in the ending battle, it's great to see the two characters overcoming their differences and fighting together. That's a cliche I love to death when enemies become friends. But of course, no military force is without its enemies. The first thing I'll bring up is that Cobra is improved far better than the first film, and they do have a threatening presence, which I'll give them credit for. Zartan as the president is okay, but nothing special. I really would have preferred if he looked more like his original action figure. However, Jonathan Pryce is great in the role, and it looked like he was having a blast with his performance. However, the best character in the movie is, believe it or not, Cobra Commander. This guy is just a badass whenever he's on screen. His suit is a great update to the cartoon version, way better than the first movie. Yeah, what did he look like again?
You will call me Commander.
Yeah, that was kinda lame. But in this movie, he acts like a Soviet Darth Vader. It just looks awesome. Why do all heroes and villains nowadays look so epically awesome in black leather? Either way, I would love to have a Cobra Commander costume myself. The story is very solid. It's just simply an episode of the cartoon. It also deals with some of the missile crisis going on a few years ago, and even now it's still a problem. Actually, there was a good laugh whenever North Korea was brought up. A nice touch to insult there. The action scenes are fantastic in this movie, especially the mountain sequence. It looked like they shot it for real. I'll even admit I had a little vertigo. Sadly, I did not see the film in 3D, but from what I saw on the screen, it looked like it would have been cool to see. While the first movie was panned at the time, it surprisingly did well financially. So it was inevitable that a sequel would be planned. Wright Rees and Paul Wernick, the writers of Zombieland, were hired to write the script for the sequel. The movie was originally thought to be titled G.I. Joe Cobra Strikes, which was later denied. Stephen Sommers was originally going to return as director of the sequel, but Paramount Pictures decided to hire John Chu to direct the sequel. However, it is kind of unclear why Sommers was replaced though. Chu would later declare that Paramount wanted a reboot that also served as a sequel to The Rise of Cobra. So I guess you could consider this film to be the first major soft reboot of sorts. I will say though that John Chu did a great job directing the movie, way better than what Sommers put out in the first. Chu is more of an action director, while Sommers is more in the lines of adventure. The film obviously had a handful of visual effects shots, which were handed over to a few companies. The majority of the effects were handed over to James Cameron's Digital Domain, who are mostly known for more human-based CG characters, and I can see how they were chosen to handle the majority of the human CGI, which would be impossible to do for real. However, some of the effects were handed over to Industrial Light and Magic, who also did some decent efforts. The film's score was handed over to Henry Jackman, surprisingly, who I've only gotten to listen to this year with his score to Kong Skull Island. He's someone who is honestly still new to me, so I haven't been able to grasp his work as a whole. With Retaliation, it's okay at best. Nothing to write home about, honestly. So the film has a lot of great action and visuals. However, can it overshadow any flaws? Well, while the film has some great characters and action set pieces to accompany it, the only real gripe with the film is that the story is kind of
What's supposed to mean?
I mean, it's nothing special or spectacular, but come on, it's a movie based on an 80s kids cartoon show made to sell toys. How the hell can you make it an impactful story? The movie also suffered from a lot of production problems. Apparently a crew member died from an incident while changing the set. As well, the movie was delayed constantly. It was originally to be released in March 2012, then moved to May, but would later get released a whole year later in March of 2013. What was the reason behind this? Well, apparently the studio wanted to convert it to 3D, which is a huge process unto itself. It's obvious the studio must have needed more money, so they basically jacked up the ticket prices. And to be honest, while there's nothing really to report about both good and bad with the movie, I still think it does have a few visual redeeming qualities. Overall, G.I. Joe Retaliation is a fun, action-packed popcorn flick. The characters are awesome, the story is straightforward, and the action is a great display of stunts, spectacle, and special effects. If you're looking for the best live-action version of the cartoon, this is definitely it. Far better than the first movie. I'd say check it out if you've got some time to kill, or if you're a fan of the franchise, and I'd give it an overall 7 out of 10. It's a decent action flick, and passable for both the adult fans and the new generation of kids to this franchise. I keep hearing a rumor that Hasbro wants to do a G.I. Joe Transformers crossover movie, and even though the last few Transformers movies have kinda sucked, you can definitely sign me up for this crossover to come. Because hey, I'm a sucker for crossovers, and the fact that these two toy companies are coming together sounds fucking awesome. So that is my review of G.I. Joe Retaliation, a fun ride and a great popcorn flick. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments section below your opinion on the film, along with your favorite G.I. Joe movie. Now, if you'll excuse me, I gotta deal with this snake in my boot.
Shut up.
Alright, Cobra. I've held up my end of the bargain. Now it's time to hold up yours.
Are you forgetting something?
Of course. There's your comrades, all tucked away in that USB. Do with them what you will. I have no use for them whatsoever.
I command your policy and commitments, but you have grown naive and soft since the Great War.
I choose to forget.
And that's why you fail.
I don't think so.
What the hell? Damn it.
Nice try, you snake.
What?
Did you honestly think my defenses were that easy to hack, Commander? Thanks to one of Dr. Terawatt's high-class techs, my systems are 100% impenetrable.
Damn you.
Oh shit! Delta 18, I need backup!
What do you want from me?
Someone with big guns!
I guess life does have a way of sneaking up on you.
What's this?
Your journey has gone rusty, boy. The story of the great warrior ends here. It's a shame my lord and master will not take pride in killing you.
to know the lady has an acquired taste in backup.
Don't worry. Bring the party to you.
It's over, Cobra Commander. Now pack your shit, get out, or surrender.
You might have won today, but I am not alone. Remember that. We'll meet again.
Save your ammo, boys. Let the coward flee.
I'll set you up a guard around the base. This should at least keep some of the rats out.
Sounds good. Take off. And Stark. Thanks. That guy is so cool. Well, folks, that was quite an action-oriented day, wasn't it? And I guess this is where I take my leave. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. As for my thoughts on the film, well, now you know. And knowing is half the battle.
He's always there, fighting for freedom over land and air. G.I. Joe.
Master, the warrior, he defied us. I managed to retrieve my comrades, but we were ambushed by the Joes. He is in league with them, along with Stark and Shield. There was nothing I could do. I better escape with my life. Oh, damn right.